Since the dawn of space exploration, humanity has dreamt of reaching beyond Earth. Colonizing other planets has been the subject of science fiction for decades. But are these dreams truly feasible? What would it take to colonize the Moon, Mars, Venus, and even other distant bodies? So, we'll break down the challenges humanity may face, and the resources required to make these terrestrial bodies habitable. So without further ado, let's dive in. Let's start off with the Moon. It's the closest celestial body to Earth, and has been the subject of human exploration since the 1969 Apollo mission. With little to no atmosphere and extreme temperature fluctuations, colonizing the Moon presents several challenges, but it does have some advantages. First, let's talk about resources. The Moon is rich in helium-3, which is a potential fuel for nuclear fusion. We've also discovered water in ice form at the poles. This could be used for drinking, agriculture, and even producing oxygen. The Moon also has a lot of materials, like silicon, iron, and magnesium, which could be used for building habitats or more equipment. But despite these resources, the Moon has no atmosphere, meaning it's constantly being bombarded by cosmic radiation and micrometeorites. To build a sustainable colony, we'd need to create a protective habitat. This might involve constructing domes or underground bases using lunar regolith, which is the loose soil on the surface of the Moon. We would also need to transport food and other essentials from Earth. With modern technology, the trip to the Moon is only about 3 days, which doesn't sound like a lot, but there is one more issue. According to current estimates, sending food to the Moon would cost about $10,000 per pound. This means that the price to send even a small amount of food to the Moon would be extremely high. Given the Moon's proximity, it's a viable option for short-term exploration, but it's not exactly an easy ride for a long-term colonization. Next up, Mars. Often considered humanity's best hope for colonization, Mars has fascinated scientists and space enthusiasts for years. Its gravity is about 38% of Earth, so people could live there long-term, though it's still a significant change from Earth's conditions. Mars has an atmosphere, but it's about 100 times thinner than the Earth, and mostly made up of carbon dioxide, so breathable air is out of the question. However, the planet still has many resources. One of those resources being water ice beneath the surface, which could be used for drinking, agriculture, and oxygen production. Mars also has minerals such as iron, aluminum, and magnesium, which are all ideal for constructing shelters and equipment. The main challenge of colonizing Mars is its thin atmosphere and lack of magnetic field, which makes the surface prone to radiation. Just like the Moon, we would have to create habitat structures that would protect us from cosmic radiation, possibly by using Martian soil to build thick walls or even taking a similar underground approach. Long-term colonization is a lot more feasible here than compared to our Moon, but it still demands a significant investment in technology and resources. So let's take a look at our next contender. Venus, known as Earth's sister planet, is often overlooked when discussing colonization, but it might surprise you. Venus has a similar size and gravity to Earth, but that's where the similarities end. Its atmosphere is made of thick clouds of sulfuric acid, and the surface temperature can reach up to 900 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hot enough to melt lead. Venus's atmosphere is also 90 times denser than Earth's, meaning its surface is crushingly intense. But here's the interesting part. Above 30 miles in altitude, the pressure and temperature become more Earth-like. Scientists have proposed floating cities in Venus's upper atmosphere, where the conditions are far more tolerable. These floating cities would use lighter-than-air structures filled with helium or hydrogen floating in the thick atmosphere. Solar power could be harnessed, and some of the gases in the atmosphere, like carbon dioxide, could potentially be used to make fuel. But we'd still need advanced technology to protect from radiation and chemical exposure. Venus represents the most radical idea of all. But it's not entirely impossible, as it may seem right now. With the right technological advancements, Venus could soon be our home. So if you remember in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that we would be exploring 4 different candidates for our future home. I purposely only revealed the names of 3 of them, so we would have a fun surprise to explore together. So some of you may have already guessed this, but Titan is going to be the moon that we're exploring. Titan is one of Saturn's moons, and it's one of the most intriguing candidates for colonization. Titan is the only moon in our solar system with a dense atmosphere, and it's mostly made up of nitrogen, which is really similar to Earth's early atmosphere. Titan has lakes of methane and ethane, but not water, which presents a major challenge for agriculture and life support. However, Titan has large reserves of water beneath its surface, which could be converted into liquid water, oxygen, and hydrogen. The atmosphere also protects from cosmic radiation, which can make it easier to build structures. Titan's gravity is also only about 14% of Earth's, which could make everyday life a little bit odd, but not impossible. Energy would likely have to come from nuclear reactors or even from harvesting methane. While colonizing Titan would require a lot of specialized technology, its unique environment could make it a viable candidate for future exploration and settlement. So is colonizing these planets feasible? Well, it depends on the resources we have and the technology we develop. The moon is the most accessible, Mars holds the most promise, Venus offers unique opportunities for floating cities, and Titan is an intriguing wildcard. Human colonization of other planets will require massive efforts in resource extraction, energy production, and life support systems. But with the right investment and technological advancements, it's not entirely out of reach. The future of space colonization is bright, and maybe, just maybe, humanity will one day call another planet home. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Each minute of the video that you watch takes 1 hour of work on my end, so I would really appreciate it if you gave it some love and support. I would also like to give special thanks to all the people who inspired me to create this video. Your comments keep me thriving. Leave your thoughts, feedback, and any questions in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to get to them. And as always, keep looking up.